Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of 8 Beyond Hair. Today I am here with Jacob Kahn.
Yo.
The legendary Jacob Kahn. This is such a privilege for me to be here with Jake, and I cannot wait to ask him all the questions.
Well, thanks for having me on. Should be fun.
So Jake, tell them where you're located and what you do.
I'm in Atlanta. I'm a hairdresser. I've been doing hair almost 20 years, about 19 years or something like that. I own a scissor brand called Fancy. It's also an education brand. So we're traveling and doing classes, doing online education. We have cutting tools in many countries now doing distribution. We've got ambassadors all over the country representing the line. I'm a global contributing partner for L'Oreal. I'm the creative director for Hairbrained. I'm a salon owner, all of it, all that.
You're so awesome. So that leads me to, so many people would kill to be where you are right now. One of the reasons why I started 8 is because I get so tired of Instagram or social media making everything look like this beautiful, perfect picture. When people actually have because we have a generation of hairstylists who are stepping up, and I think they have an illusion that they're gonna step into this industry and it's just gonna be just as quick. They can come out the gate charging $500 or $1,000 or whatever it is. And I think it's important for people to understand the grit that it takes behind building a brand.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanna talk to you about that.
Sure.
I wanna talk to you about where you started, how hard it was, and where the pivots started happening for you. So how old were you when you started doing hair?
I got my license when I was 18.
Okay.
And I'll be 38.
So when you first started, you were only cutting.
Well, when I went to hair school, of course, I learned everything. And then when I got out, I was in a departmentalized salon for maybe 4 years or 4 or 5 years. So it was you either cut or you colored. My interest was really in cutting going into start doing this, and then I learned color just because you have to,
Yeah.
So yeah, first 4 or 5 years only cutting.
Okay, and then you stepped into color. Was there a reason why you decided to step into it?
Well, this salon, it's a good salon in Atlanta, at least at the time, very, very busy, had a bunch of locations, commission, corporate, one of those, everything is pearly white and you have to wear all black,
Mm-hmm.
No windows or whatever. It's all artificial light
Yeah.
and deep inside of a mall or whatever. And they had some training, but I knew what I wanted to do was to focus on training myself, and that eventually what I wanted to do was be on stage and be in front of people and teach that way. So
you inherently always knew you wanted to be up on a stage.
Yeah, even before doing hair, that's what I did. So it was I did theater, I did stand-up comedy, and I was in a bunch of bands, and I did improv and all of that. So growing up, it was being on stage was the goal. I wanted to be an entertainer or an actor or something like that. Really a stand-up comedian was by the time I got to hair school, that was the direction that I was this is what we're gonna do. But when I was in school, I just really I already liked it, but I really fell in love with doing hair when I was in school. And I realized if you want to be on stage, in hair and be in front of a crowd, this is how you do it. You have to do education. And my sister is a Spanish teacher. My brother is a professor at Georgia State. My mom was an English teacher growing up. So it's I think teaching and that sort of thing is in our family, something we've all done. So, and I'm a hair teacher. Yeah.
So what year into your career did you start teaching?
Well, I was at that departmentalized salon for maybe 5 years, and then I went to a Paul Mitchell school, the same school that I got my license, and went through the instructor training to get my instructor's license and started doing that. So that's when I had to learn color, because when you went there to do instructor training, you couldn't be departmentalized for Paul Mitchell. They do everything. Everybody does everything. So I was all right, I've got to learn color if I'm going to do this. So I spent the next year really just throwing myself into it. And luckily, I had a good understanding of hair in general, and I worked hand in hand with the colorist in the salon, so it wasn't it's out of sight, out of mind. It's you're planning in the departmentalized, at least in a good one, you are working specifically with somebody, you develop this kind of relationship and rapport, and you're planning each client that comes in and talking color, talking cut, so you're making sure that those things are cohesive. So it wasn't, the harder part, I think, of learning color was my hands, getting my hands to move as smooth as they do with cutting, be able to put in a million foils with a rhythm rather than
Right.
I hadn't held a lot of foils for 5 years.
Yeah.
So it took a little, there was a grading curve, a little bit of getting used to, but after a while now, it's been, been 14 years of doing it, I guess. So I'm very particular about it. And we do have Allie in the salon is our colorist, but we still do everything cut and color. Me, Ben, Allie, we don't specialize anymore.
Okay. How many days a week are you working behind the chair now?
If we're not traveling, I'm here 3 days a week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. even if we are traveling, like it's just sometimes we have to travel on a Friday. So it's like basically every Wednesday, Thursday, and then most Fridays, unless for some reason we have to like fly out that day.
So what is causing your travel? Are you going and educating? Like, what are you doing when you're traveling?
Yeah, it depends on what it's for. So if it's for fancy, like my brand, or for Hairbrained, it's like either hands-on classes or stage stuff and demos. If it's for L'Oreal, digital education or editorial stuff, or like makeovers on like influencers or editors for different magazines and stuff to like make content for them and make articles for them. So that's been pretty interesting and fun because it's different than what we were doing before. You know, used to doing the stage, used to making our own content. That's been like a different avenue, not exactly like being like, let's gather a bunch of magazine editors and give them makeovers so they'll do articles about us. So that was different, and it's been cool, you know.
So when did you go from just being successful, a hairstylist, to this massive success that we see you at right now?
I think it's been a gradual thing, and I'm hoping, you know, my mind is on bigger things than we have now. But I think like, you know, around that time of putting myself in this educator track, then there's like all these sort of markers along the way. Like I did the school, and then an advanced academy opened. That was this guy, Wayne Lee, who was like an educator for Vidal Sassoon for a long time, and then Lucy Dowdy, who was a Sassoon colorist, but at the time she was the like editorial director for all of JPMS. So they were opening this advanced academy, and I really wanted to work there. So I like auditioned to get the job. It took like months and months of models and classes and interviews and whatever, and I got it. And then I did that with them for about a year, essentially like becoming an assistant again. Like I had to apprentice this guy who was like this Vidal Sassoon educator. I was doing 5 models a week, taking my clients, and like teaching, like assistant teaching classes with him. So it was just nonstop, boom, boom,
This
boom,
is here
boom.
in Atlanta.
Yeah, it was in a suburb of Atlanta, but
Okay.
it's Atlanta. Like for anyone who's not from Georgia, it was in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it went from like I was busy behind the chair. You know, been there for 5 years. I was booked behind the chair. You know, my haircuts were probably like $50 or something like that, but I was like on the hour, booked 8 hours a day or whatever. So to take that, like being busy, and be like, okay, we're gonna make a lot less money, work a lot more hours, and essentially restart, because I wanted something more. I wanted better training. I wanted more opportunity than just being behind the chair was going to be able to offer, you know, at least at the time. Because at this time, there's no social media. There is no independent education. Like that does not exist yet. You know, it's like there is no just random hairdresser touring and selling out classes. I mean, you were with a brand, or you were handing somebody clips, waiting for them to die, and then you could get your clips handed to you on stage by somebody, you know. So it was different. So in order to give myself the opportunity, rather than I didn't feel like I could make it for myself like I do now yet, because I couldn't get the word out like you can now. So I was like, oh, we've got to just find like a company to work with or work for that like has that.
Do you feel like you always got like these little bits of insight, like that you kind of knew what you needed to do next? Or did you have moments of confusion where you had no idea how to get to the next step?
I mean, I don't think I always knew what the next step was or anything, but like in my mind in the beginning, it was pretty clear and focused on like, we've got to be doing education. Like that is the way to do it. Yeah. So even when we were in the salon, it was like me and a group of hairdressers that I still like am in connection with now. Like we were planning photo shoots, we were like doing models, like just doing everything we could possibly do, entering competitions, you know, anything that was like more than just a salon. Yeah, I mean, it was exhausting, but I also think I was incredibly motivated, and I was young, and I had energy, and I would say things like, I don't get hungover, you know, like, you know, whatever, when you're in your early 20s, and, you know, so I'm happy that I was motivated enough to do it then, too, so. Yeah,
I think oftentimes, like, if I'd had what I have right now mentally in my 20s, I'd have been unstoppable.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that in my 20s, but I had children very young, I got married. Do you have children?
No.
How old were you when you got married?
We got married, Shelby and I got married in 2021.
2021, yeah.
So
I think if I would have started really early, I think I could have been a lot bigger at this point. So it is helpful, but at least I got it at some point. Because I think mindset would you agree that your mindset is what helps you traject?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm constantly talking to people about like, usually the thing that's in your way is you. Like if you're putting mental limitations on yourself or going into a situation thinking that it's going to fail or whatever, it probably is. And I like have been sometimes a manic level of confidence when it comes to anything that we're doing. Like in my mind, I just believe that we're going to do it, you know. And it's worked out so far.
What's your zodiac?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. Is that December?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm an Aquarius. I'm January.
Okay.
Well, I read something about you that you had said that you have a hard time sleeping because your brain is just always. Do you still feel like that? Like, has it always been like that for you?
Well, it was a lot growing up, but in 2020, I started like lifting, and since then I've just been very serious about like weightlifting, powerlifting stuff, and honestly, that has fixed my sleep, I think.
Has it?
Yeah, because I'm just wearing myself out so much, maybe that I can get knocked out at night. And I also think like some of that stuff will, once you're getting healthy in that way, so much of your body's like internal processes are getting fixed that you didn't even know were wrong, like hormone levels and things like that. So it really helped me a lot. So I've become just as addicted to doing that as I am to like hairdressing and the brand.
So how many days are you working out?
Like 5 or 6 probably.
So you're doing that even if you're traveling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll find a gym. Like I have I have too many gym memberships, and some of them are like in multiple states. So I'm like, oh, I know if we go somewhere, maybe there's a crunch or something like that, so I'll keep that membership. And if there isn't, I find one that will do a day pass and we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in like 2020, when COVID happened, you launched an education platform right before that happened.
Yeah, we got lucky. We launched it in like February and didn't know, of course, that there was going to be a pandemic.
That was divine.
So,
Yeah.
and we had sold out a tour for the whole year already. Had to refund the whole thing. We, for the first time ever, we had the forethought to like, oh, let's buy plane tickets early and stuff because it won't cost as much. And of course, we couldn't use any of them, and we got credits, I guess,
So when you launched it, was it an immediate success? What was your following like then? How many did you have?
I had a few 100,000, I think,
Okay.
maybe 200,
Okay.
something like that. I don't remember exactly, but we got a lot of people signed up. I think we had around 1,000 people sign up, like when we first.
Because you were a low ticket.
launched.
You were like $10 a month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was like that, something like 1,000 people like got on there, and then we just like were pushing that the whole time like of 2020. But of course we're in Georgia, so it's like we only had COVID for like 20 minutes, and then there was no
it's done.
it
Yeah.
wasn't as crazy, and we started doing classes again pretty early, like maybe November of 2020. But we were like, all right, there can only be X amount of people. We'll spread them out, masks and everything like that. So, but I just didn't want to lose the momentum. If we could, I wanted to do it, and I just love doing it. So I was like, it feels weird to just not move.
Was this online and in person?
So the in-person education had already been happening for years. We were touring and teaching for a long time before that. I did the Cosmoprof artistic team for a number of years, and did independent stuff always during that as well. But we launched the online, so that was just step by step. So we were shooting at a studio, and then touring like hands-on classes everywhere.
And so then when did you start Fancy?
So at this time, Fancy already exists. So the Scissor brand launched in 2017.
Okay. And
So-
what made you start that?
Well, everybody was asking me what scissors are you using? Everybody had it in their mind. I think hairdressers think that if I just get the right scissor, then that's what will make me a good hair cutter. So we were constantly teaching the idea of like, forget that, like learn how to cut hair. Like it doesn't matter what scissor you use. And then we were seeing all these hairdressers like spending $2,000 on a pair of scissors. Like maybe they're an assistant or their first year on the floor, they're spending $2,000 on a pair of scissors. And we know they can't afford it. It's either on a credit card or they're on a payment plan, like with whatever brand they bought it from. And either one of those things could possibly ruin your credit. Like it's going to go to collections, or you're going to rack up interest if it's a credit card. And then it's like, I just hated to see that. Like these young or just fresh hairdressers, like making very little money in the beginning, like we often do, and spending way too much money on something. I was always describing it like a car. It was like these hairdressers straight out of school, they want to buy a Lamborghini, but like they don't even know how to drive. They don't even have their driver's license yet. So I was like, there just needs to be something better that's more affordable. So we were just trying to take something that other brands were offering for a higher price and not mark it up as much, and use it as a way of just supporting education and teaching the idea that it's not the scissor, it's you. So we're always saying, our stuff is $180, so there's nothing more expensive than that we sell, and that's all that we use. So I've been telling people like online, like we are arguably some of the most successful hair cutters in the world, and we never use anything that's even $200. So you don't need a $2,000 pair of scissors unless you're just into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think it's a gimmick? All these big prices on scissors?
I think some it is, some it isn't, right? So it's like you can take something that costs $50 and mark it up to $500, or you can take something that's actually handmade, that is incredible high quality. Like if you look at some of these brands, like I try not to mention brand names, because there's people get all grumpy, but some are, are actually like handmade Japanese steel, and it's like a guy in a room in Japan. There's maybe only like a few of them that work there. But I would say like the difference of those is you can tell when it is actually like that and when it isn't by the numbers that move. Like if you can sell 1 million scissors, they're not handmade, because how many people do you have doing it? Or who is it? Just a bunch of kids making it? Like how are you producing 1 million scissors? Like if you go to some of these really, really high-end brands, it's like I don't really feel like they're not moving that many scissors, specifically because the quality, it takes time. So it's like they're worth the $2,000, where a lot are not.
So you started in 2017. Is that when you launched that company?
That's when we launched our first, we tried to sell scissors for the first time. I think we used to have to buy them, like make them and buy them. So I think we bought 100, 75, 100, something like that. But when we launched it, they all sold in minutes, because we had done this big lead up of promotion and creating this interest and excitement about it. I would be like, we have a new thing that's coming. This is what's coming. It'll be available on this date.
Did you start like a wait list?
We didn't take down names, but we just promoted, rather than saying here it is, we would tease that something is coming. Then the next week be like, it's a scissor. Next week, details about it. Next week, you can get it on this date, and that date's 2 months away. And then we would tease it, and then launch it, and then it would be gone. And then people would come to buy it, and they couldn't, and we're like, see, it's sold out already, And that just created this really kind of cool snowball effect of interest in what we were doing. And then when people used it, they didn't hate it. And everybody, I think, if you've bought a cheaper scissor in the past, because of the markups, maybe it costs $10 and they sell it for $180 or something like that. So it was usually cheap and bad, and it wouldn't hold its edge, or it'd fall apart or whatever. So when ours did, and they liked it, and it just kept on growing and growing from there.
Let's talk about the marketing behind that. So I love marketing. It's kind of what makes my clock go tick-tock. What do you think marketing-wise helps push a product? Like if there's a hairstylist out there that's like, I want to start my own shampoo brand or whatever, how do you think that a hairstylist should be marketing themselves to do something like that?
Well, I think for us, we thought we need to solve a problem. That's what made it actually something that worked. We weren't trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to be like, this scissor is the greatest and it's better than everything and that's why you need it. The idea was let's identify what the actual root problem here is in the industry, solve that, and use the scissor to support that resolution. So I think if somebody is going to make something, wait until you actually have something special, first of all, and figure out what that is. What is the goal of this brand, For us, we always say the goal is to have more affordable tools, for hairdressers to feel more confident, and for hairdressers to have more fun. That's our whole thing. So if we can provide you what you need without breaking your bank, no financial trauma involved with what we're doing, whether it's the tools or the education. You leave feeling more confident, more capable, and you're laughing and having a good time and not getting burnt out, That's a huge thing is hairdressers. We have a huge turnover of people that were hairdressers.
Have you ever quit doing hair and come back into it?
No way.
You've always stayed consistent?
Yeah, no. Never given it up for a second. Never even thought about it. Even now, it's I'm doing stand-up again and stuff, and even if that took off, it's I would never...
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that, because that is stand-up your true love, or are they equal?
I mean, I like doing hair a lot better than doing stand-up, I think, now. As an industry, I think hairdressing is a supportive, creative, beautiful thing with so many incredible people. And stand-up is a jaded, depressing industry with a bunch of assholes or whatever.
Did you just always love stand-up?
I just always loved stand-up as a person, was deep into stand-ups growing up. My parents had me watching Delirious and George Carlin and, just all of the greats and everything. Both my parents were into that. So from a time I was really way too young to be watching that, really, I guess. I was seeing all of this, They were deep into original SNL cast and stuff, And I just, from a little kid, I knew that I wanted to be in front of people. I was performing. So I was in a theater company by 6th grade. Before that I was in gymnastics and had recitals and whatever. So it was just always something. I think, let's say that you go to a hair event. There's other hairdressers that are presenting. We always see all these other hairdressers being very supportive of that. Even if we're not working for the same brand or whatever, we just want nothing but success for them. I do not notice that in stand-up. There is quite the opposite, way more competitive.
Very competitive.
You'll go to one of these, we do a lot of open mics, because it's early on. And you go to the open mic, there'll be 50 stand-ups there, and there'll be 10 people to watch you do comedy. And if the stand-ups would sit and watch and laugh, then you get a sold-out show or whatever, and you got a great room. But stand-ups are not watching other stand-ups. They're, waiting, doing it, off to another open mic, whatever. And I think there's this thought of if you do better than me, then you get booked, and I don't get booked, so I can't laugh, and because then you will do better than me or whatever. I definitely like hairdressing more, but I still think it's fun.
I kind of think when you look back on your life, right? Because what I can see from the outside looking in is that part of you has served you so well behind the chair.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of your videos are kind of satire. You have some little bits that you do that are really funny. So I can see how you incorporate that in. And I think it's so interesting to watch that happen.
Yeah, I think for me, the content has to reflect what we are actually like, and it has to be something that I would actually want to watch too. So making it fun and funny and satirical and sarcastic.
Because a lot of your really viral videos are the ones where you're being sarcastic.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that now, I had this one thing that I've been doing lately where I was saying early 2000s cosmetology school teacher traumatizes his students is the character. And it's essentially just me being mean, while I'm doing it. And in my mind, it's very obvious that it's me,
I love it.
A joke,
Yeah.
And then if I'm normal in the next video, people are commenting insult me.
Yeah.
Why are you being nice, So it works for a certain demographic. You have some people on there that really don't like it.
Because they seem to go viral every single time.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think we have a pretty good handle on what will work, what won't work, how I can connect with my audience that we've grown. I mean, of course, we still have some duds here or there. It's unpredictable enough on social media. And I think the fact that what we're doing really is hairdresser education focused content, even if it's comedy, even if it's satire, underneath it is education. It's never and when I say this, I'm not dissing people who do this. I think, it's a completely different skill. It's one that I don't have. Being regular influencer content. Nobody watches my stuff for what I'm wearing or what my morning is like, or, no one I can't do a get ready with me and have anybody care, But if I teach you how to cut a shape, faster, easier,
you're
make you
so
understand
good at it too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're very good at it. Emily Chen is another one that does that really well.
Yeah.
I think she's very good at teaching people how to do that.
Yeah, Emily's one of my best friends for sure, and she's just joined us here. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just a month ago.
Yeah.
But
is she local?
She was Rochester, New York,
okay.
Doing hair there for 20 something years or whatever. And it's just, I think really the incentive for her to move was that you can't get a straight flight anywhere from Rochester. So you come to Atlanta, you can get a straight flight anywhere in the world. So it just made sense because her career evolved in the same way eventually, where she's traveling, teaching, creating her own brand. So she's not working for us here. She's just working with us. I mean, she'll use our space as her space when she needs to.
When she started doing the yarn.
Yeah, that's very new.
I was like, oh my
Pretty
God, that was so brilliant.
But you know what is more brilliant than the yarn is that it is Nicolas Cage's face that she has printed out onto the diagrams.
Yes.
Because people have done yarn, it's
it pulls people in.
They do it on a mannequin, you had Chanel has always done that on mannequins and stuff, showing that with these yarn pieces and stuff. I mean, I remember even at Paul Mitchell School, you had a lot of people doing that sort of thing. But Emily always finds a way to make it more fun, funnier, more random, more fever dream.
I would love to know how
crazy.
she thought to put that picture on that board. Did
Not
she
just
tell
in
you?
her mind. She's just completely
knew that
crazy.
That was going to click.
I mean, if we were to look at, you should show this shelf right here of items. These are all items received by Emily Chen. We've got some real crazy, weird stuff up there.
She sent all this to you.
Or just handed it to us at shows or whatever. You can see it. We have a magnet up there. That's Nicolas Cage.
All from Emily.
Yes, these are all Emily items here. Everything besides Pokey from Gumby, everything else you see is from the twisted mind of Emily Chen.
What about the baby doll?
The baby, in a way it is, because it was an ad we made together for a class that we needed a baby for the ad.
She sounds fun.
She is. She's very fun. She's very funny.
How did you two connect?
Well, she asked Ben and I to come and teach a class at her salon in Rochester, a long time ago, maybe 2021. Something like that, and then we just stayed friends ever since.
You're so connected in the industry. So you are the creative director for Hairbrained.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how that happened.
I think, I've known Gerard for a long time. I mean, I was a member of the Hairbrained community back in 2008 or something, when it was just a website, and again, there was the social media was, maybe was there Facebook then? I don't know, but there was MySpace or something like that, So Hairbrained was, I would say, the first social media for hair.
I agree.
Like it was its own forum, its own website. And, we were on there trying to get featured and stuff. And then, I took many classes from Gerard and Nick and other people like that in that world of craft hairdressing. So he and I stayed connected through the years and just grew closer. And then we did this event. We call it Fancy Fest, where we brought a bunch of our ambassadors together and sold tickets. And we did it at the same venue that they were going to have the Hairbrained Awards that night. So it was us during the day, and then afterwards was the Hairbrained Awards. And we sold this thing out in minutes. It went so fast. And then Gerard saw that we were able to sell out this event and that we put it on, and it went like clockwork. It ended when it should, and everybody was happy and whatever. And Hairbrained, was tools, it was digital education. It was maybe it was teach-in sessions and stuff and the awards, but it wasn't these big educational masterclass events yet. And that was a goal of Gerard. So he saw that we were able to do that. He wanted to partner with us to put on a big one for Hairbrained called HB Fest. That's in Palm Springs every year. And we sold that out, I think, in just 2 or 3 days for him. Created a plan, brought everyone together. And don't get me wrong, Gerard is a huge part of making all of that happen. So much on the back end that has nothing to do with me. The marketing and the promotional aspect of the first one and everything was what we were the biggest part of that. And now helping with the content creation, coaching new hairdressers that are wanting to get into making content and connecting them with the brands. And basically every single piece of content that goes out through Hairbrained, I've got some part in, whether it's just the approval of it or I tweaked something or whatever. But yeah, so once that event went well, I think we all saw that this was a nice thing, and they were looking for something new, something different, a new direction. The other thing is that all of these sort of aggregate pages, like Hairbrained or whatever, pages that didn't make their own content, they were sharing other hairdressers' content.
Yes.
The rules were changing. On Instagram specifically, you can't do that. It has to be original content or it will suppress your reach. Right. Part of bringing us on, bringing Fancy on to help with that was so that there was that change could be facilitated, that we were going to find hairdressers, teach them how to make content. Everything that you see go out on Hairbrained now is completely original content, no reshares. So it's either original or collaborated, something that we worked on as a team.
Was that a hard shift for Hairbrained?
It happened pretty seamlessly because as this was announced, we were all connecting to make it happen. So when we saw that as a need, we were okay, well, what do we need to do that? We need hairdressers, we need the brands, and we need really just a team. We need to have a pool of
whenever
hairdressers.
you're okay, I got to pivot, and you're we need to build these teams. What's the first step in something like that? Are you reaching out to big celebrity hairstylists? Who are you trying to talk to?
No, I don't think we're reaching out to celebrity hairdressers. I think the more trusted hairdresser when it comes to promoting a brand is a hairdresser that you can relate to. Mm-hmm. Even me. If you, at this point, because of you see a million people and you see me talking about a product, you assume that I'm getting paid to talk about the product. Now, we do have a very strong rule of we would never represent anything we don't actually believe in, but people out there don't have to believe that, Yeah. But let's say that you've got 10,000 people and you're working on making content and you want to be an independent educator or you want to work with brands, you want to grow your brand. I think those are the first sort of hairdressers that we look for, are people that we can help grow in the way that they want to grow. And it also meets the needs of these brands in a very good way, because you can have 10,000 people. I can work with you on content, and we can make viral content with that amount of following. You don't even need 1 million followers anymore. You just need the right content with the right flow and hook and whatever. And I think we're good at helping people figure out how to do that. So we've brought on a lot of people and really helped grow a lot of new faces.
I follow Gary Vee. I just love him.
Yeah.
And he has made a statement that he thinks followers will be obsolete one day. It won't even be you won't even be able to see your following count. Do you think that's true?
I don't think that you won't be able to see it. Probably you could toggle it on and off or something like that. But I mean, the cloud and the emotional attachment to it and the hey, look at me vibe of it. I don't think, people are people. I do think that the functionality of social media is changing so that you can have 1,000 followers or less, post something, it can get millions of views. Yep. Because even with me, you look at something that has gone massively viral, let's say it has 5 million views, maybe 300,000 of those are my followers, the rest are non-followers,
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, I agree with that it will be, you don't need followers to get something to blow up, but I doubt the value in having the followers is going to go away, because the brands, they care about it. They're you still have more of a guarantee if you have the following.
I think it's a little bit like currency. A little bit.
Yeah,
People
for
see
sure.
that, they want to work with you more because you have that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think, like, for me, the numbers are very important as far as, like, if a brand is willing to invest in us to put out content for them, I want that to be successful. And just like as much as I want a client to love their haircut, I want this to perform. So I'm tracking numbers constantly, seeing what works and what doesn't, and always providing the analytics, whether they ask for it or not. Because I don't want any, like, room for questioning whether it was good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I will give you Super Bowl numbers, and there's nobody that can deny that, because we always do.
Yeah.
So
I do want to talk to you about Alfredo's line coat, because I know that are you a shareholder in that company?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so explain how an affiliate is different than a shareholder, because I don't know if this is something new to the industry. I haven't heard of it before. Well,
a shareholder in any company, whether it's in our industry or not, is somebody who actually is invested in the brand,
right?
Like, who has some ownership of the brand. And like, you're somebody who's like an ambassador or affiliate, you're probably getting paid to represent the brand. Yeah. So Alfredo came to me and a group of other hairdressers like me and Kara and Emily and Zach and people like that to test this product for him. So for a year before it launched.
I was about to say, when was this, last year?
I tested it for about a full year, so maybe last May.
Okay.
I got my hands on it. Alfredo tested it for a full year before that, and then we launched it in June.
Okay.
So it started off just like, what do you think of this? And we try it all out. And then Alfredo did something that a lot of, like, that nobody was really doing. Like, I think, like, it's cool of him to be like, I want you to feel more invested in this. I mean, because, like, let's say you're in a position like mine, you work with a brand. As much as we're working with L'Oreal right now, we absolutely love it. It's been so much fun, and we love the product and respect the brand. But I also know that, like, you never know what the future holds. Like, maybe the L'Oreal president changes and they look at what I do and they don't like it or something, and they get rid of me, Yeah. So, like, the stability, as much as it's there, sometimes it feels like it's rocky. Like, once you're on the top, the rest of the time you're just fighting to stay there. So Alfredo gave more of this security, and he invested in us as much as we were going to invest in the testing and promotion and emotional investments and whatever in the product. So that was really cool. Luckily, the product worked and we liked it. Like, our first thought was, like, me and Emily were talking about it, like, oh my gosh, like, it's gonna be so hard to tell Alfredo that this doesn't work. Like, when we try it and it doesn't work, it's gonna be such a bummer. Yeah. And then we were all very surprised, and we're like, oh wow, it worked. Like, that was great.
I think something really cool that Alfredo did that I'd also love to pick his brain about is when he launched, because he just launched June 1.
Yeah.
He's immediately in salon centric.
Yeah, so those deals and everything were made before the launch, for sure. Like, that all happened, and then we're planning to launch in Orlando.
Which I know I know that he's been doing this for a long time. He has major connections.
Alfredo's more, like, connected in way different ways than I am, for sure. He's, like, connected in corporate ways because he's been head of corporate, like, positions at places like Matrix and other brands, where I just have not done that. So he knows all the suits.
Yeah.
so that's definitely a benefit.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's another one I'd love to get in the seat, Alfredo.
I'm sure you could.
I'd love to have you here to ask you all these questions.
And he's actually, like, so cool and nice, and in real life. So I'm sure he'd love to do it, I bet.
Okay, awesome. So as we close up, I always ask this one final question. Like, if you had to offer one piece of advice to the youth in our industry to be successful, what would you tell them?
To be successful? Well, I think the first thing that you have to ask yourself a series of questions. It's like, you have to figure out, what does success actually mean to you? Like, what does that look like to you?
Agreed.
Because that will change, like, what this answer is. Because I think for some hairdressers, like, they might get to my position and be really unhappy. Like, they don't want to have to travel. They don't want to have to make content. I won't say who it is. I'll let them ever say it if they decide. But hanging out with a very good friend of ours, one of the biggest, most successful hairdressers in the world, and, like, they're feeling frustrated. They're like, I don't want to make content. I just want to do hair. But they're one of the biggest people doing it. So it's like, you can get it and not want it. And
I totally sympathize with it. Yeah. Because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, like, I'm lucky that I really do love making the content. I am very particular about it. So I just had someone ask me yesterday in a DM, like, someone who's just started to get a following, like, who do you have editing your content for you? It's so hard to do this. And I was like, nobody. Like, I do it all. I edit some of my team's content. I edit for Hairbrained. I'm in the salon 3 days a week. I'm traveling sometimes 40 weeks out of the year and just running our own brand. I have my hands in everything. I'm not hands off with anything that we do. And even if I tried to, if I was like, oh, we'll hire this person to edit the content, I would micromanage the edits, like, down so much that I might as well have just done it.
Done it yourself.
Yeah. So you have to figure out what success actually means to you first, and then you can make a plan about, like, how to get there. And after that, I think the best advice, what got in my way in the beginning was waiting for someone to create opportunity for me.
Yep.
Like, put me on stage,
preach.
do this for me,
Yes.
you know? And the moment I was like, we're just gonna do our own thing and we're not gonna worry about if anybody thinks it's wrong or right or whatever. I mean, the amount of times I said to people early on, I think we should do this online, we should put this on the internet. And I had big people that like ran these schools and companies tell me that they didn't think it was a good idea, and you know, who cares about that and whatever. Let's put out another box set of DVDs. Yep. And if I had listened, we wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
So like, find out what success looks like to you and then make it your responsibility to get it.
Okay, so we have one little series we do at the end. We call it Pass the Mic.
Okay.
And so I always ask the hairstylist that I'm sitting with to pass the mic to the next hairstylist they think I should interview, who can help our industry.
Let's pass the mic to Emily. Why not?
Let's pass it to Emily.
We already know that you can drive here, so that'll be...
Emily, I'm just a few hours away. I'm coming back for you. Okay.
She'll be real fun.
She'll be really fun. I hope she brings me something.
Oh shit! Okay, now
I'd
she's
like to
definitely
have
going
it,
to.
'cause I'd like to
If
have
you
it.
put this out and she sees that, she's gonna bring you the weirdest thing you've ever seen in your life.
I like really weird shit. So if you want to bring that, I'll have
be
it.
careful. Went to San Francisco, and Emily had printed out stickers of Ron Jeremy. You know who Ron Jeremy is?
No.
Like the '80s porn star Ron Jeremy,
Oh,
big mustache,
great.
like
She sounds amazing.
big Greek-looking guy. And these are naked pictures of him with missing his crotch or whatever, and she's putting them all over San Francisco. Like if there's a doorknob, she's putting it there, so like the doorknob looked like it's Ron Jeremy. Or she put one on my. I didn't know what it was, and she was like, just turn to the side and let me do this, and she put it on my ear, so it was naked Ron Jeremy, and my ear was his crotch or whatever. She's putting that all over,
Love
like
her. That's
in my
kind of
wallet
girl.
right now. There is
Can't wait to see
a
this.
sticker that says for rectal use only.
Is this from Emily?
That Emily has placed on my wallet. At some point when I was not looking, she got my wallet and put that sticker on. And of course, I will have to leave it out of respect.
Her energy is so good.
Yeah, she's a goon.
That's great. Okay, Emily, I'm coming for you. Okay, so as we close up, I want you to tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Jacob H. Khan. That's JACOBHKHAN. You can find us everywhere else as Fancy Hairdressers on YouTube, on TikTok, fancyhairdressers.com. You can also find it through Fancy Scissors. Like all those things will take you kind of to the same place.
Okay, and that's it for this episode of 8. Our next one, we're coming for Emily. And we'll see you then. Bye.
There you go.